Hey guys, it's Gabi Koyenov. Welcome. Today I am joined with Vegeta and coffee. In today's video, I'm going to talk about some beginner advice for being a YouTuber from a beginner's perspective. Now, I just started my YouTube channel. Basically, I just have 3 videos out, and I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey and just what I've learned. I think that the advice that I might give might be a little bit more unique than professional YouTuber advice because I'm coming here from a beginner's perspective. I still know how it feels to be a beginner and tricks that I've already used and mindsets that I've found to be helpful in starting and putting out YouTube content. I think that this perspective may be a more unique perspective and maybe more helpful in many ways, as opposed to going to a professional who's already past that. He doesn't necessarily remember how it felt being a beginner. So I hope that this could be of some use. If you were anything like me, you probably wanted to start a YouTube channel for a very long time. And, watching other people's videos and content probably gave you inspiration and made you think that, this YouTube thing, I could totally do this. And then when it comes down to it and producing the whole product and actually putting something out there, it becomes a little bit more intimidating because YouTube isn't just putting your personality out there and it being clear and awesome. It takes a lot of work. I know that generally I'm a very social person, but often I find myself in front of the camera feeling like, I forgot how to speak English. So that's basically been my experience in the beginning. And if you've watched my first video compared to my third video, it's just night and day. So the first piece of advice that I think I would say is you need practice. You need to just put things out there and get good at speaking in front of a camera, editing, and just forcing yourself to do it. Now, what I did as a trick in order to get myself started was I had a friend who I had told I wanted to start this channel for a long time, and him and I placed a bet. If I don't put out a video by May 1st, then I would owe him $500. Now, the thing is that I was going to Israel at the end of April, so I wasn't going to be able to put out the video by May 1st when I wanted to and be able to post weekly. So I had to put out the video before I left. Then when I came back from Israel 5 weeks later, I rearranged the deal with him, and now I have to put out a video at least once a week or I owe him $100. So that's our new deal. The way that I got started and was able to make my first video was I actually hired a friend, Avner Fuzailov. I'll put a link to his channel down below. Now, he taught me how to use iMovie and GarageBand. And the reason I hired him instead of just watching a bunch of YouTube tutorials was because, first of all, I knew I wanted some hands-on experience, and the whole idea was kind of just intimidating to me. I never opened up these softwares. I had no idea how to use them, and now I was planning on using them all the time. I figured, let me just hire a professional who's going to show me some hands-on tricks. He's going to watch me do it, and it's going to be some real practice. So that's a really great suggestion. Getting someone to actually give you some hands-on training with these different softwares, and it made it so much easier. I really felt like I knew what I was doing, even though I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew that I would be able to practice with the skills that he had taught me. Another very beginner trick I would like to talk about is how when I first made my first video, I sat in front of the camera and did like 8 takes, like a bunch of takes, because you sit in front of the camera and it's not like talking to a friend. It's very different. And so you sit down, take 1, you try to do it in a 1 take, and it doesn't work. So again and again and again. Guys, really good beginner advice I would give you is do not do a million takes. Have a bullet point list of things that you want to talk about in your video and start with 1 bullet point at a time. If that bullet point was messed up, then reshoot from where you messed up. Don't go back and restart your video and do it in a 1 take. The reason I had done that originally was because I was still nervous with just my video editing skills, and I wanted to do it in a 1 take. And if you see my first video, I didn't edit it at all, really. It was just 1 long video, and then the audio, if you would notice, was just inconsistent. So that brings me to my next point, which is if you are recording on a separate mic, like what I'm doing here, and then you're recording on your phone, which is also what I'm doing, or on a professional camera. So I don't know why this happens, but when it saves, the audio from the mic is a little bit more compressed than, I'm sorry, not compressed, it's a little bit more elongated than the camera recording. So you have to split the audio recording and just adjust it slightly so that it lip syncs. And guys, I can't even express enough how much I have gotten positive feedback and support from family and friends and people I hadn't talked to for the longest time. I basically had just put my video on my WhatsApp status and put it in every group chat I have. You know, I finally found a use for these group chats. And people watch them. I didn't think anyone would watch them. And my third video that I had put out had 150 views so far. 150 views is nothing, obviously, but like to me, 150 views is bizarre. 150 people saw a video that I put out. And even though like the average duration was like 3.5 minutes, that's still wild. People saw my video and responded so positively, and it also inspired some people came to me and told me how they actually thought about starting something, and seeing my video really helped them be inspired. And I think I'm gonna make a video in the future about just all the money that I spent before even starting my channel, and just how much it's costed me just to be able to have this hobby. So I think that that's going to be an exciting video. I think for the future, other exciting videos I'm planning on making is the continuation of my mini-series on the Orthodox Jewish life and culture. I think that it's an important series, and I was actually surprised. I thought that a lot of people were going to be against me talking about just what's going on in the inner world in Judaism, just because, you know, our community and our culture like to be private, and you know, even saying positive things isn't necessarily something that everyone would approve of. But actually, it's been very positive feedback, and people are really happy to hear that I'm putting something like that out there, because I think it's just not a lot known, and there should be a lot known. Also, another idea for a YouTube series that I thought of. I think this is hilarious, but it might be a very stupid just mistake. I thought of this video series called Please Don't Cancel Me. And then I just basically go on a hot rant about some hot topic, you know, and give a hot take. So I think that that's interesting because I love just ranting, and I think I have interesting and unique opinions. So I think that it would just be interesting to give a perspective and just rant about it and see what other people think. You know, I think we're all learning and growing and figuring ourselves out, and I'm open to changing my mind and having new opinions on it, you know. I think that it would be great to just see some feedback, especially if I'm planning on starting a podcast, to be able to give my hot take confidently and embrace the feedback. So I'm excited for that. And subscribe for more content like this. And if you have any questions or anything like that, please leave them in the comments down below. Thank you.